This is actually the first interview that I've had about the platform. So
Oh,
this is an
nice.
exclusive.
Thank you.
You are number one.
We are here today with Eduardo Diaz. He's the CEO of Tipped Crypto. I'm going to let him get into what he does, because I don't want to misrepresent that. So first things first, welcome. Thank you very much for coming on our show, Eduardo. Take it away.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you for having me. I definitely enjoy your content on X. I like the little clips that you put on. Those are perfect. And,
that's all Mr. Titan. Mr. Titan puts those together with a little help from his AI friends.
Excellent. Yeah, a little bit about myself. Again, my name is Eduardo Diaz. I have 10 plus years of experience implementing large software implementations. I've decided to apply that to Gala because I've been with Gala since 2020, taking on, can I be part of the solution type thing? I, like many people, have Gala nodes, a number of founder nodes and a number of town nodes and other nodes. And I really want Gala to be successful. So I started a company called Tipped Crypto. And Tipped Crypto is a Gala Chain platform company. And the first platform that we're creating is called Morphsters. And Morphsters is going to be an NFT creation platform. Think of OpenSea, but an emphasis of NFT creation. That is a little bit about me, who I am, and what I'm doing.
By the way, I forgot to introduce Mr. Zorro here. Mr. Zorro is co-host tonight.
Yes.
That's really interesting. So when you say you're with Gala, you work with Gala? You're working at Gala Games?
No, I'm a Gala Chain. So my company specializes in creating applications on Gala Chain, and we're starting with our Morphsters platform. So just to be clear, I'm not an employee
Nice.
of Gala. I'm just specializing in creating dApps on Gala Chain.
Are there a lot of companies right now getting into Gala Chain?
Quite a few, actually. I actually did an AMA with about 5 or so other creators that are building in different capacities on Gala Chain. There's a lot of different companies that are creating behind the scenes. I've been working on this project since early this year, March timeframe. So I've 6-7 months already into it, and I'm just starting to become public about it. And so there's other companies that are doing the exact same thing. So by the end of the year, you're going to be pretty surprised of all of the great applications and content that is being created on Gala Chain. I'm hoping to be an enabler of such companies in the NFT creation space.
Well, yeah, I was reading about your Morphsters. Now, your Morphsters are not just NFTs, right? They're a way to get, like me, get my own set of NFTs on Gala Chain. Is that right? How does that work?
Yep, exactly. So Morphsters is the platform that we're creating. We're having an inaugural NFT collection for the platform to quite literally make sure that everything's working smoothly for other creators. And once we work out all the bugs, quite literally using the collection that we create on the platform, using the interface that we expect users to use, then we're going to turn it over to users to be able to create their own NFT collection. So I'm not sure how familiar you are with NFT creation, specifically on OpenSea. But the user interface, the look and feel is going to be very intuitive, one, and two, it's going to be very familiar for the veteran NFT creator. And so what it will look like, because I believe that you're interested in kind of seeing the workflow of what that would feel like, look like. First, you would sign up for an account on the Morphsters platform, and then from there, you would request access to mint. We're going to gatekeep minting based on if you own a Morphsters NFT. And then we're going to keep adding on features to owning the NFT with the platform in our greater ecosystem. But at first, it's a chicken and egg thing, right? We want to have creators ready and prepped to do creation before NFT gets created. But anyway, I digress. So once you request access to mint NFTs, you'll have access to the interface. There's 3 different types of NFT creation. There's single creation. So if you create a collection like Mirandus, for instance. With Mirandus, there's different types of NFTs, right? There's homesteads, there's exemplars, there's other different NFTs, there's collectibles. And so first you would start by creating a collection, which is a pretty simple thing, just Mirandus, you create that collection. And then let's say you wanted to create maybe one special NFT collectible. And so you would just create one NFT. So that's one way of creating it. You can just one at a time. And then you can also create a mass amount of these like type collectible type NFTs. We're talking about NFTs that aren't what are called PFP, the profile type NFTs. So you know how Bored Ape Yacht Club or CryptoPunks, that's a type of NFT collection that is very similar. It's on the more fungible NFT side of the spectrum opposed to the really unfungible, fungible side of NFTs.
You mean FTs versus NFTs?
Yeah. More commoditized NFTs compared to really, really distinct NFTs. You can do mass creation of these type of art collectibles as well. That's the second NFT creation that you'll be able to do. And then you'll be able to create Bored Ape Yacht Club type NFT collections that have a base character with many different traits. Like Vox, for instance, is kind of a similar collection that you'd be able to do something. But I think a better example is actually Bored Ape Yacht Clubs and CryptoPunks and Morphsters when the platform goes live will be that type of collection. So we believe that that's a good starting point. We aren't going to be supporting music or more of like orb type NFTs quite yet. We want to make sure that that's stable before we start adding other entertainment type NFTs, because Gala Chain and Gala has turned into an entertainment company, and we're really going to focus the platform to cater to the entertainment industry. So we're going to start there and then we're going to build.
Yeah, I had actually investigated putting some NFTs on Gala Chain myself. I had to get an account, log in, and then there's a lot of these things you had to fill out, and it looked rather complicated. So it sounds like you've automated a lot of those steps.
Yes. Essentially, we've done all the legwork behind the scenes. We've wrapped it with a nice UI, just like OpenSea. So then you, as a user, you don't have to hire a developer or do coding to actually deploy an NFT. So there's a couple different things, right? You need to be able to deploy the NFT. You need to be able to do a point of sale with NFT collection, which we've solved that problem. So when you create the NFT on the site, users can purchase it. Be a reveal type NFT type of purchasing experience, just like with Vox. Remember when you bought a Vox and then you didn't really know what exactly Vox you're going to get, and then the collection had rarities, so there was a sense of excitement about which one you're going to get. You're going to have that experience on our website as well if you want to go that direction. And then from there, our platform will also support peer-to-peer sales as well. So all deployed with smart contracts. And we felt that those three different application experiences were important to really truly bring value to creators, so then they don't have to do it themselves, right? You want to be able to create an NFT collection, you want to be able to sell it, and you want your community to be able to sell it amongst themselves as well. So we're solving that problem on Gala Chain, similar to OpenSea on other chains.
Are you a marketplace as well, or you're just enabling the ability to sell them, you said?
Yeah, so that's very important. We are a marketplace as well for NFTs that are created on the platform. So that's a very specific, it's an important distinction. We're not looking to add existing NFTs that have been created on Gala Chain like Mirandus or other collections. So yeah, we're very, very specific in that sense.
So that's what seems to differentiate you from NFT Harbor out there, for example. So they would be hosting any sort of Gala Chain stuff, but yours is what's been created on the chain. Okay, got it.
And I actually support NFT Harbor selling NFTs that are creating my platform as well. So they're going to be created on the general asset chain. Gala Chain can be separated in different channels, they're called. They're going to be all of the NFTs will be minted on the general asset channel. So then creators can do what they want with them. I welcome NFT Harbor to sell those NFTs on that platform, any other platform, because at the end of the day, if you own that NFT, you should be able to do whatever you want to do with that NFT, right? And so we're structuring everything to be that way.
Mr. Zorro, did you have something you wanted to ask?
Yes, I was very impressed when I think you posted in the information as far the morphers that there is actually no coding required. It's just people can just go there, create their own NFT without any coding required, and that's awesome. To be honest to you, you're the one that came out with that idea. I really so.
Yes, yep. We really want to bring the experience of NFT creation that you would have on other chains to Gala Chain. I think that's huge. It's pivotal. It's needed. I think people that don't understand that they want that, but once they have it, I believe that it will be an excitement point for users.
And in the future, besides Gala Chain, are you planning to be integrated to another chains as well, or not? Just Gala Chain for now.
Yeah, that's a great question. We also are going to support Polygon. And so the reason why
Okay.
we've decided to support Polygon as well is because Gala Chain, there's a lot of, it's a new SDK, it's a new software package. It took a while for our team to understand, how to work with it, just like any other SDK out there that needs to be familiarized with the team. And so what we did is minting on Polygon is well known. It's time tested, true. There's an easy pathway to get to, an idea to be able to have a full-blown platform. And so what we did is we developed in parallel. So then we could work on the front end of the website. So we can work on user interface, workflow, minting, which we're doing on Polygon in our testnet. And then now Gala Chain and where we are in the development process is starting to catch up. So anyway, that's why we're supporting Polygon. It allowed us to work on the front end while we're understanding the back end and getting all that worked out. So yes. And another, an idea that I had today as well, and it's a great question,
Right.
is supporting, I'm not doing this now. It's just an idea, but Gala is really focused on advertising Tron. And I was thinking, well, if they're really trying to onboard Tron users, maybe my platform should support that chain as well. So that's an idea that I'm having. It's not going to be day one, but depending on how Gala's marketing, user acquisition to the actual Gala chain ecosystem, that might be another thing that we do in the near future.
Tron sounds interesting, actually. So these days, I don't have the highest opinion of Tron. However, in the past, I've worked with it a lot. I actually used Tron for a couple of years for allowances for my kids. They'd have
Oh,
a
wow.
little client on their phone. I switched to XRP actually because the allowances got there faster. I've always been interested in Tron. I don't know why, but there's a little controversy around it, but maybe it kind of needs that for more adoption. That's interesting to see how you're saying that Gala and Tron might be joining forces in some way. I wonder how that would work.
The advertisement, it's my understanding. I don't know the specifics, so I'm going to be clear. So I'm probably
Right.
going to say this all wrong. So feel free to clear things up in the comments, right? Gala is working with Telegram apps, right? And there's a huge surge of Telegram app crypto tapping games, and they're tapping into that and hopefully bringing those users to Gala Chain. The mass adoption of Gala Chain is going to be those users. Why not cater to them on both sides of the fence, right? So it's just an idea.
Yeah, I like the idea that you want to go multi-chain at all. I have a feeling that each chain is going to have its own challenges as to how quickly the transactions go, how easy it is to work with the API, and so on. I admit I have a bias toward XRP, but it is good to see that people are building on Gala Chain because I think there's a lot of opportunity there. Isn't Gala Chain supposed to be really fast too? Is there anything you could tell us about Gala Chain itself? How it is working with it?
Yeah, so right now we're working towards getting everything established. We haven't done what's called volume testing quite yet. Every indication that we've gotten thus far is that it is fast. Latency is not an issue based on our development. That's not a discussion that we have as a shortcoming or obstacle. So things have been working quite well. The Gala chain is based on essentially it's TypeScript. It's a two-edged sword there. One, building on Gala Chain, you have a larger development pool of experts that specialize in that language. But the problem is there's not very many blockchain TypeScript developers specifically.
Blockchain TypeScript developers, yes.
Yeah. So there's a lot of these. So it's like, in the developer community, there's all these different niches, but yeah, we have this huge pool of people that can build, but getting people to specialize in the area is something that is new. It's a growing pain of the chain. It's going to be slow, but I believe that because of the large pool, there'll be a faster adoption of the chain. And so that's kind of the theory, at least in my opinion. Slow at first, but mass adoption later because of that language model.
Well, I'm a TypeScript developer myself. So
there we go.
Yeah, I've used it in a few different contexts. The API and object models that you're working with is another, and they have their own quirks. So when you're saying you have a lot of developers that could develop, but when they're dealing with blockchain, You have to do this with blockchain, then you have to do that with blockchain. You can't do them in the reverse order, which you might be doing with databases or other
Exactly.
APIs.
Decentralized file repositories with the graphic and incorporating that. That's something that's very foreign to developers, to your point, interacting with the blockchain, right? So there's a learning curve there. And there's a stigma with blockchain, right? And so it takes a while for people to experiment, actually understand the value. And that's why I believe there will be a slow adoption at first, but mass adoption later.
I absolutely agree, because a lot of new technologies, as soon as I've been a .NET programmer forever as well. When new technologies come out, I see the support with the language, and I'm like, who's working with that? Why would anybody want to do something like that? We're doing all of our development stuff here, and then a few years later, like, that technology starts getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's like, oh, I'm glad that the .NET framework's actually supporting that now. That's good. It's a language I know. You're starting early, and you're probably doing a lot of legwork that years from now won't need to be done, writing all the code and making sure things are syncing up properly and stuff. That's kind of exciting in a way. You're on the bleeding edge there.
Yeah, and I agree 100%. We definitely are. We're literally developing in parallel with the Gala development team, specifically with the MetaMask integration. That's really the critical path item at this point. It's the only thing that we're really working on and waiting for it to be finished up. And we're actually working directly with Gala and being able to give that 360 instant feedback when they push out an update to that specific element of the SDK.
Did I hear you say that MetaMask and Gala Chain are going to be working? MetaMask going to be supporting Gala Chain?
Yes. Yep. I don't know the specific articulation, but yes, the Gala is going to be incorporated in MetaMask. The chain will support
Nice.
the SDK, which would
Wow.
include transactions and smart contract deployment and smart contract interaction. The part that we're waiting on, and again, I'm paraphrasing here because I'm not the developer that's actually doing this specific development. It's the contract deployment and contract interaction is the thing that we're working with Gala to sort out as a feedback application developer. They're really, really close, and really, in my opinion, it's the last significant technical item that needs to be done for the floodgates to open. Where there's a ton of creators that are just waiting for that to be fully fleshed out, and then it's going to get really exciting. So, this is actually great timing because this is October for crypto, and so
Yes.
if the timing is right, there will be another wave of the Gala ecosystem that will be different than what we're used to from the 2020 years, right? But it will be just as exciting, just in a different capacity. Gala is not just a gaming company, it's an entertainment company. It's a blockchain entertainment company. So there's a lot of opportunity in that space. It's going to look different. It's right there. And I can see it because I'm working in it. I'm literally working and talking to different creators. And we are so close to something that the whole community is so eagerly waiting for, especially a Gala founder owners, to be specific.
So I do have a question. Are you able to answer any technical questions, even high level?
Yes, I used to be a developer, but
Okay.
I'm not doing the development work on this project. I'm kind of front running the company. I'm doing all the different marketing. So you need to have a team, right? And so
Yeah.
I'm working with a software company. If you look up I'm not ready to disclose who they are yet, but if you Google blockchain software companies, there's a couple different lists, and they're number one on a number of those different lists.
Okay.
And so they've also deployed a number of larger, well-known NFT projects. I have a team of 7. The technical team 7. Not all of them are developers, of course. PM, front-end developer, back-end developer, blockchain developer, database, resource, and others. So we have a full suit. And quite literally, the most expensive part about this is really the development aspect of it. Kind of digress there, but yeah, that's the team this far, and I'm actually building the team here in the next month or two, beyond just the core development.
So I know that Gala is a private permissioned blockchain, and I'm wondering what the difference is between that and, say, something like Ethereum or Tron or something like that.
One thing that I've noticed that I feel is a differentiator is the ability to do allowance. And when I mean allowance is, or for instance, with the NFT platform, based on what I've been told by the developers, is that it's a three-way handshake with doing a peer-to-peer sale. The seller needs to want to sell it, so they deploy a contract. There needs to be a buyer that triggers the sale of the contract. And then what we have on the website is that the website will allow for that transaction to happen, and it's an allowance. So then there's a three-way handshake for that sale to actually happen. Back to the core of your question, the feedback that I got from the blockchain developer is that we had it set up that way based on kind of the technical, the SDK itself, to be able to facilitate a peer-to-peer sale utilizing smart contracts. So that was something that was I feel was a key differentiator, practical key differentiator. I'm not sure if it was just an understanding of the SDK and trying to apply what's available with trying to synchronize to a standard sale experience. But anyway, that's how we structured it. And I think it actually works out better because then you can't call the smart contract directly. Tip crypto is a number one priority is security, right? Because we're dealing with NFTs, peer-to-peer sales. When we're making decisions on, hey, should we try to facilitate just a peer-to-peer sale? We landed on having this three-way handshake. I decided to keep that because then it just adds another level of security. And that's the same reason why we have user accounts on the website. You have to have a user account first, opposed to just directly being able to plug in with the MetaMask account and then being able to do transactions. That's another security element that I believe that will safeguard our community. You know, there's some bad actors out there, right? I believe that there's just bad actors, and that's I want to make sure that we limit bad acting.
It sounds like using a private permission blockchain gives you the ability to, I mean, that's how the world runs right now. I mean, if you want to go make a bank transaction, you have a bank in the middle. That's
yeah. And there's a standard. There's a Gala is using this allowance type functionality. If you go to Gala Swap and you offer a swap, those tokens get locked. Gala is using this feature, and so we implemented it from the peer-to-peer sale perspective as well. And that's one of the big reasons why we decided to go that direction, because Gala's using their SDK to do that, and so we decided to move forward with that as well.
Is there a way with that to reverse a transaction then, or is that still not possible?
No. There's no. I wouldn't want that. First off, I know there's methods on other trains to be able to do that. You know, to kind of reel back in if there's any malicious transactions that happen. But we're not deploying anything like that. We're not building anything to facilitate that. You know, once a sale is done, it can't be crawled back. Which I believe that's what the community wants. That's what I would want if I was selling something or buying something, of course.
Okay. Let me pull out of the technical questions a little bit. I don't want to make things too boring. The important part of Morphsters apparently seems to be they enable you to make NFT collections on Gala Chain very easily, quickly and easily. Then, as easy as OpenSea, for example.
Yes. Yep. Exactly. And that's the benchmark right there. You know, throughout developing, and we're still doing user acceptance once things are being built and fully integrated with the back end and the front end. But what I keep telling the team is that this needs to be familiar for veteran NFT creators, and this needs to be intuitive for people that have never created an NFT in the first place. That's our goal.
I might have to hit your site up. I do have a set of NFTs myself. I don't know if you've heard of the zip bugs, but I have them on Polygon, on Ethereum, on Base now. Actually, there goes Zorro.
That's one. That's one. But I think if you can see my background, that's one of the.
Oh yeah, that's a zip bug right there.
Yeah, there you go.
It's extreme blow up of a zip bug there. His name is Bu132.
Yes.
I like having them on the various blockchains because there's different audiences for each one. I have them on AVAX as well, and I'm interested in seeing how to work with the blockchain, how easy it is to work with it. So cartoon characters have a life of their own.
You're exactly who we would want to create on our platform. You have a connection with people that are on Gala Chain. You bring value to people that are part of the community, and those are the people that we want on our platform. Yeah, please do create NFTs on the platform when we're ready.
Do you have an idea of a time frame when you might be ready?
Yeah, so the critical path item is that MetaMask being fully fleshed out, the integration, and so we're thinking by late next month, or late October, early November. We're very, very close. That's really the last thing that we're really working on. The back end hasn't been fully integrated with the front end from a Gala Chain perspective, but that's pretty small peanuts compared to all the stuff that we figured out thus far with the SDK. And so, yeah, so we say Q4, but we're really looking for early November deployment, maybe sooner in the Q4 timeline.
Okay.
We, the users, we want things to get things really fast, to get things really easy. And when you develop things like this, that's the future. That's what we want. Humans don't want to wait anymore. We want everything fast to be just one click, boom, that's it. I do this. Oh, I like this. And then if I can't go there and create my own NFT. Just clicking something in there. That's everything. And that is the future. The future is meant to be easy for humans.
You guys don't have an API, do you?
Well, we have our own internal APIs, right? The front end calls the back end APIs to be able to mint NFTs, to be able to facilitate smart contract deployment and sales for the facilitation of NFTs being dropped off to a buyer. Once it's minted and dropped off to the recipient buyer, right? But they're not going to be public. But our grand vision, right, is that we will support the entertainment creator space because Gala Chain is for entertainment. I've been brainstorming. You get a lot of good ideas, right? You don't really execute on all of them, right? But one thing that I'm interested in maybe looking at creating is an API that allows for platforms for creators to verify ownership of NFTs. These are the type of things that are important when you want to do a mass understanding. Maybe it's a game, right? And so if you have a user, they're logged on, and you want to have an experience where they don't have to use their MetaMask to sign on to the game to understand if they own the NFT or not, but there's a user parameter in the profile of the user that's the assigned Gala Chain wallet, then their platform could then call a hypothetical API that I create that would allow them to quickly verify ownership of assets so they can use it in game, opposed to having to do a traditional Web3 experience with logging on with MetaMask. I think for mass adoption to happen, you need it to be a very smooth process, and having APIs that allow you to do that, I believe creates value to allow for people to want to play the games easily, right? And you brought up a great point about it. People want things quick and easy. And so I believe an API like that would allow for creators to provide that to their users. So that was an idea, for instance. And I want to continue to build off of those ideas. After our phase one, after we get the platform created, creators like yourself are definitely going to want to understand what you guys want. So then we can focus our time and effort and money in the things that you want so that we can provide that value. So then we can have that stickiness with creators that keep coming back to using our platform, which is the end goal, right? We want to be the NFT platform for Gala Chain for people, not because we're the only one, but because we are the best one, because we're the easiest to use, we're the most intuitive. It continues to serve their purposes, time tested every single time. That's what we're looking for. So when I build, I'm building as if I'm competing with OpenSea, and they're already supporting the chain, because eventually these larger platforms will, and I need to get ahead of that. And I need to create solutions that are specific to Gala Chain to ensure that users don't offboard to other platforms because they create a better experience. And so, on that topic, the Morphsters platform will be an NFT minting platform first, but I'm looking to create, Elon Musk would say, the X platform, it's going to be the everything app. Well, I'm not going to be the everything app, but I want to be an app that it morphs into different things that provide, impactful value, like an NFT minting platform that facilitates peer-to-peer sales, kind of thing. So anyway, get off my soapbox. I'll pause.
Well, what I'd really like to see is if I'm designing a video game, I'd like to be able to create and possibly even burn NFTs in game. Well, so if I'm playing the game as an adventurer and I earn myself a sword, this is what Miranda would be doing. I would like to be able to create an NFT on the fly and then even burn it necessary in the game. It's like, oh, I lost my sword, I dropped it in the lava. Okay, it's inaccessible. It's burned. It's burned now. It would be nice to be able to have an API to do something like that. It sounds like what you're talking about. You might eventually get there.
we could facilitate that hypothetically. There is a method to burn tokens, to be able to.
You'd have to give permission, obviously, when you play the game. It's like, okay, I'm importing this NFT in the game. You can do whatever you want with it, And then,
Yeah. Be careful what you wish for, kind of thing, right? Once you call it, there's no reversing, right? So, those are some things that hypothetically we could deploy. I probably would stay away from that though, because bad actor could get access to someone else's API access, use our system to facilitate malicious activities, and then people are going to be mad at the platform because there's a face behind it, right? And it's like, hey,
Right.
So there's a game out there, and I forgot the name of the game. Basically, the game is an adventure kind of game. I believe it looks a little bit like Diablo, but the problem is if you die for good, and you're banned from the game if you die.
Oh wow.
And it's like IP ban and an account ban and all sorts of stuff. And so they make it to where when you die, and you'll never be able to play the game again, which I find hilarious. I think people are going to want to do more of that kind of stuff in the future, because right now when you play a game, there's nothing to lose. You can just reset the game and start over. But if you import weapons into a game or something like that, and these weapons get destroyed, the game gets more exciting, and it's more higher stakes. You have some real adrenaline with the game. I think people will eventually look for that kind of stuff. And blockchain, that's right up blockchain's alley. I think that there probably needs to be some work on the layer, but I think the layer that would do this, but I think that it would be cool to have a layer sit between you and the blockchain to be able to affect real kind of stuff with the blockchain. And if you lose it, you lose it. Yeah, things could be hacked. And maybe there could be insurance plans that can be created just for that. Just like we have insurance plans on our house and on our car. You wreck your car, it's wrecked. So that's why you have an insurance plan. So not only can you have that, you could say, okay, you sign up for an account and you pay $20 a month. You pay the extra $5 a month. That's an insurance plan that your sword, if it gets destroyed, we'll buy another one for you or something like that.
Yeah, that's I think all of that is possible. I believe best served
that's
to be
another opportunity to make money is with insurance plans.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want to necessarily facilitate that, but maybe I can enable some APIs with some game developers to be able to do an automated insurance triggering.
Just a certain game. Certain game. You could have. I have a Zip Bugs game right now, which is a lot like Flappy Bird. And it'd be nice if you owned a Zip Bug. It'd be terrible if you owned a Zip Bug and you died, then it just got burned. But it'd be neat if you can earn points. So you earn NFTs as you get further along, and they'd be rewards. They'd be prizes. Flappy Bird's really hard. So if you get past like 30 of the little pipes and you earn an NFT, that's yours forever. But it might be that if you get 30 pipes and you get really far in the game, you can trade that in for something else. So I see a lot of neat potential with blockchain NFTs in games.
I will say that I'm willing to build anything as long as people are willing to pay for it. And here's the caveat: it's legal for me to do. So as long as it's legal for me to do, and if people really want something and they're willing to pay for it, I'm up.
Do you want to go there? Because I have some legal questions as well.
Yeah, we're a non-custodial, non-money transferring application, right? I think the technical term is a money transfer. Yeah, so that's the reason why Tip Crypto is not creating an exchange. There's a gray zone with being a U.S.-based money transfer, and you need to be registered in each state. And so we're not looking to do anything that has to do with being a custodian for crypto from that sense.
So that's you're affecting the creation of NFTs. Isn't there a fee with that?
Yeah. So when you meant a fee, yeah. So service fees, yes. That's the platform is going to be based on service fees. So we provide a service. There's a fee for that service, and so that's how us as a platform is. In my opinion, I'm not a lawyer. As far as I understand, that's what keeps us in compliance, right?
Legal.
And so, yep. And I have talked to a lawyer generally about all this stuff. But anyway, that's my understanding, my interpretation. The company, Tip Crypto, and I have my own personal company. We pay taxes. We're incorporated in the United States. It's all about being. I'm a public figure. Gala knows where I live. I've signed countless NDAs with them because I'm a moderator and I've been to different events. It's very important for me to do the right thing because, you know, this is fun. This is really fun for me. I'm lucky this could be something that I can go, you know, 100% with. But at the end of the day, I don't want to be in a cell, in jail because of something like creating an exchange, right? So
You'd just be fined about $10 million, and they'll
yeah,
they want you to
white
pay
collar
that.
crime, you know, they'll slap
They
your
want
hand.
you to pay that off. You won't be in jail because you won't have an ability to earn money. Is it just Morphsters that you're working on? Is there anything else going on with your company right now?
Yeah, we had there's one other project that we're working on. We're probably not going to get that off the ground because I've decided to really focus on Morphsters. And also the development company that I hired for that particular effort, they're having difficulties working with the SDK. I think it's more of the company and not so much about what I'm asking them to do. I've pretty much made a decision that I'm not going to go forward with that. I don't even want to disclose what it is. There's going to be more than just the Morphsters platform that we're going to create. When we get to the point of implementing something, we're first going to ask the question, do we want to incorporate this into the Morphsters micro ecosystem, or do we want to branch it out as a different branding and then be part of the Tip Crypto umbrella? The Morphsters platform first, there will be other exciting things in the near-term future.
How do you see this project in the next year, 2025?
So yeah, so Morphsters, where do I see Morphsters in next year? Oh, that's such a great question. You know, I've never really posed that question to myself because you have a vision, you run straight towards it, right?
Right.
But you put a time horizon on it, 2025. So in 2025, I envision that Morphsters has tens of, if not hundreds of different creators on the platform, have their own individual NFT collections. Right now, I'm currently doing outreach with different creators that are building, and I want to be the leading NFT deployment platform for all NFT creation, and that's really the goal. And so, if you want to do it DeFi, opposed to working with Gala, there's going to be advantage with creating NFTs with Gala. But if you want to do it in a DeFi way, I want to be that number one option. My goal in 2025 is that when you think of Gala Chain, you think of the Morphsters platform. Because when you think of Ethereum, you think of OpenSea, right? When people think of Gala, I want them to think of my company because I provide great service to them, you know, legitimate service that I provide value for them for what they're doing. That is my goal for 2025.
And how do you come up with this name?
Yeah, oh, that's another great question.
Yes.
So this journey all started because I'm like, hey, you know what? I want to create an NFT collection on Gala Chain. So that's not a platform. The idea was first, I want to create a collection on Gala Chain. And then I was looking at the SDK and I was trying to figure out, you know, how to go about it. I'm like, well, I can maybe bootstrap this and create the NFT collection on Gala Chain myself. I was looking, I was like, okay, this is a lot of effort. I'm going to have to hire a company to create it. And I'm like, okay, if I'm going to hire a company to create it, I might as well create a platform. And then the idea really blossomed to being, you know, Tip Crypto organization, creating the subsidiary Morphsters platform, and then creating a platform for not only for my collection, but for other people and for other creators to create their own collection. And so the Morphsters name, I didn't answer your question yet. Long story short, is that there's a Web 2.0 NFT collections that allow you to swap out hats and different characteristics. There's different platforms that allow you to do this. And so when I first saw it, I was like, you know, I would really love to like push the boundaries, right? You know, you get these, when you have these ideas, there's these grandiose ideas like, man, I really want to do NFTs bleeding edge way. And so the collection, the original vision was that it would be minted and you would be able to exchange the hats on it. You'd be able to sell different traits of your NFT. And we might actually get there. Depends, you know, not everybody's looking for that. So it's, you know, you got to be careful with passion and what actually people want. I think this is more of a passion item for me opposed to what maybe people would want. So we'll see. But anyway, Morphsters, the name was supposed to embody the being able to exchange traits from the collection. Yeah, I used to do a little bit of marketing here and there. And so when I was looking for names that aren't used on Google. So when you start a company, you kind of want to make sure that, you know, you can get all the, you know, the names on different platforms. And when they type Morphsters, you're the only website that shows up kind of thing. And so Morphsters was available as a URL and yada, yada, yada. And I was like, yeah, that works great because, you know, you can morph the NFT collection, right? So that was the vision, the name, and then the name turned into the platform name and then the namesake of the collection itself. So that's
Nice.
that whole thing.
That's cool. Actually, that's a name that no one will forget just easily like that. You know, it's
That's one of the reasons I created the name FazRadio. I wanted to have a podcast. I go by Faz, and then I was just like, well, what could work with the name Faz TV or something like that? And I was just like, FazRadio. It just sounds good. Yeah, and at first, to be fair, at first we didn't do video for about a year. It was just a podcast with us just talking. So FazRadio eventually got video, and then the question was, should we make it Faz Video or Faz TV? And it's like, nah, let's just keep it as FazRadio because it sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
So it's and actually it's those earworm kind of words that they have value in and among themselves. The name still commands something. I mean, people have been buying the Atari name, for example. Atari went out of business completely, and the Commodore 64, if you recall that, Commodore went out of business. And they've been buying and selling. The name has been switching hands, and people have been making other kind of Commodore 64s because the name is very sticky. I'm very much into psychoanalyzing marketing. And of course you have to when you have a podcast, just the way that you name things. You know, this right now, we have it named Interview with Tip Crypto, but after Titan gets his mitts on this, it's going to be named something different. Faz and Zorro, stick it to Eduardo.
Yeah, Tip Crypto said that Gala is not a gaming company anymore, and that's the hook.
Exactly.
That's the hook. And then hopefully people hear the rest of this. It's an entertainment company doing 3 different things.
Well, then you have to watch the whole video for it to be like said in one of your sentences, and it's said with a caveat.
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny, if you don't do that, you get no views. And so, I mean, I was very much against that in the beginning, but you got to draw people in. I found even when we're just naming things, it's like Titan will come up with something like Faz shares the secret of. That gets a whole lot more clicks. Just saying the secret of.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, we could call this, Tip Crypto's secrets for listing NFTs. I mean, and your secrets would be, hey, we have these Morphsters, and let me tell you all about them.
Tip Crypto's Victoria's Secrets. It's
there you go. You're gonna call a lot of attention for that.
Yeah. What is it? Controversy. The clicking regular. I think that's what you were speaking to. But yeah, it's all part of that game. Now, this is actually the first interview that I've had about the platform. So this is an exclusive.
Thank you.
You are number one. I had an AMA yesterday, but this is actually. I was part of a different group. There was many different people on there. I had a 5-minute segment. This is the real deal, just for you guys. So
thank you. That's very much appreciated.
And hopefully we can get the second one once everything is out there already. Yeah.
I can. Well, with this, I'll promise you once we're ready, you can have the exclusive. We'll
Nice.
we'll do it together. I'll have fireworks and sparklers in the background. We'll come up with a great title that hooks people. But yeah, no, anyway,
Yeah.
I will commit to that. So once
Nice.
everything's ready to go, I'll reach out to you guys to see if you're available.
And Titan will likely be there for that as well. So
Yep.
I believe that we're creating a referral program that's unlike any other referral program out there. Why do I believe that is NFT platforms, they have a platform fee, right? It's like 1-3%. There's a platform fee. We're not sure exactly what it is, but there is one. So what we're looking to implement, and we're still working this out technically, and it's part of our day one roadmap, is that if you get someone to click on this referral link and they sign up for the website, your name will be attached to their account for a referral, and that referral will be a portion of the platform fee. So users that are using the platform, they're not going to pay anything more. What it's going to mean is that the platform is going to make a little bit less, and that little bit less is going to be given to the person that referred that user. I believe this is huge. A percentage that I'm still kind of working on is like half a percentage. If you like the Fed, 50 basis points, it's a half a percentage. And so like a half percentage of $1 million, hopefully I'm going to do this math right, is $5,000. And so if you're a power NFT user and you refer someone like that, for instance, when I was in 2020, I was flipping NFTs like I was nobody's business. Unfortunately, I diamond hand NFTs a little too long, but I think all of us actually, that
Yeah,
probably,
yeah.
I was a high volume NFT. I love the ecosystem. I was buying all sorts of NFTs. Anyway, I had about $800,000 of volume. That doesn't mean that I had $800,000. When you buy something for $100 and then you sell something for $110, that's $210 worth of volume. So there's, doesn't mean I had $1 million sitting in my wallet. But anyway, so I had about that much volume, and let's just make round numbers, $1 million in volume. Again, half percentage of that is 5,000. So just think about that. If you're able to refer community and your community uses your link, and it's $1 million of the value, that could be $5,000 of revenue for communities for introducing them to the platform. As what is that famous Biden quote? Helps everybody, hurts no one. It's great for the economy. So it's this everybody wins type of referral program. And except the platform itself, we're willing to make less to incentivize people to adopt and use our platform. And this referral will be in perpetuity. So as long as they continue using the platform with that account, that referred person, the referee, I believe I'm using the right term.
Referee.
The referee, the referee of the referee.
Yeah. I was making a joke. It's probably referee.
Yeah, I think it is referee. So that's our referral program that we're looking to implement. I think it's significant, and I believe it's what will allow for creators like yourself and others to advertise the website, so we could truly bring mass adoption to Gala Chain as being the forefront DApp on the ecosystem. Pause there. What do you guys think about that? Does that make sense?
It makes some sense. I would almost want to take it a step further and say you either you earn NFTs with it, and these NFTs could be very valuable for some reason. I'm really big on continuing to use the NFT ecosystem, like something I'd love to do, which I have one out there. I have like a FazRadio subscription, but it's more like a donation. I think one person bought the subscription NFT on OpenSea that we have. But I'd love to do all the subscriptions that way. The only problem is, I mean, if you have, most people don't use crypto. So can Venmo buy a FazRadio subscription? No, they can't. They can't buy that NFT. I'd have to, have some sort of storefront that would take the money and so on. Well, to me, OpenSea would be that storefront, because if you buy the NFT, then you're buying that service kind of thing. So I'd love to be able to see, when you refer so many users, you get an NFT to say, okay, a Gala Chain NFT, to say, okay, I've earned this much, it's worth this much, and make it part of the ecosystem. That's all.
Yeah, you have to be careful with attaching U.S. value, money value, or just currency value to NFTs, because then you get in these security weird,
That's
gray zones.
true.
And if there's value associated to NFTs within the ecosystem, there'll be value attached to our Morphsters inaugural NFT collection. Having like collectibles that are giving out, as badges of honor. That's something that I'm definitely interested in giving to people that are furries. These massive referees. Day one, will be the incentive of advertising the site, and I definitely want to be a company that continues to build off of what we're doing. So, in particular, the NFT collection, I want to continue attaching features and functionality to that NFT collection, because a lot of us have bought NFTs, big promises, under-deliver. I really want to, day one, give value to people that actually purchase the NFT collection, because that's what I want as a user. And I believe that that's what the community is going to want. So, but anyway, yeah, keep letting me know about these suggestions. Again, I'm willing to do anything that makes sense. If it's something big, if you're willing to pay for it, I'll make it. And third, I need to make sure that it's illegal for me to do. You're going to have my ear. So if you have good ideas, let me know.
Definitely.
And, I'll see what I can do. I want to know my passion project?
Sure.
So, everybody in the neighbors is experimenting with AI. I have on Twitter, I'm subscribed to their subscription, so I get access to their AI. And I'm writing a novel, actually, a Morphsters novel with that AI. And the experience is something like this. I create a context of the world. It's a lot of text. I tell it, remember this context of this story. And then I upload it, hit enter, it goes, all right, saved in memory. Then I say, hey, I want you to create XYZ scenario, and here's some characters, and I want you to set up the scene this way, and I want the dialogue to go this direction, and go. And then it'll write me a story. So that's how I started. And then it's like, oh, you know what? I don't really like that we started in a village. I want you to start this story in a metropolitan area, and then it'll change the story and change the context. It's like, well, you know, I don't like the tone that you created. You know, there's a lot of anger in that tone. Make it joyful in the explanation of this specific paragraph, and they'll change the tone. It's absolutely remarkable. So right now I have a story. It's about 5,000 characters. Give you a point of reference. The first Harry Potter book was 60,000, not characters, excuse me. We have 5,000 words. The first Harry Potter book was 60,000 words, I believe. I'm looking to create about 10,000. I'm going to get my graphic designer, create all the graphics, and I'm going to publish it on Amazon, and it's going to be based on the NFT collection. So that's my side a project. One, it was an experiment with AI, and now I'm actually going to usefully apply it usefully. And I'm hoping to continue to build off of the NFT collection and adding value to it, like this story and lore, and be really intentional about it. Like, if I'm going to create lore, I'm going to go all out. That's kind of my personality. I'm going to actually create a novel for people to have. If there's people that have an assortment of the NFT collections, you know, I might even get one, have it signed by different people, and then send it to them. You know, those are the type of things I want to continue doing. And anyway, that's my side passion project.
Well, I do have a question about that. I've been looking into that area myself because my zip bugs have an AI component in them. I've started out with drawings, and then I've used AI a few different sites actually to work with them. I've used Night Cafe, if you've heard of that work, and it can copy styles. I've used Starry AI where it can create things. I like to use AI that is based off of something that I draw or something that I would do. I've gotten some ideas for story elements from AI as well. From what I understand right now, legally speaking, AI generated content is uncopyrightable. So I mean, you could sell it, but if somebody else were to start using that story or something like, not they couldn't copyright it either. But it's there seems to be a little bit of an area where it's uncopyrightable, and it's still kind of a new area. I think you then have to prove how much like of your own work you put into it, your own visions for the characters and stuff like that. Have you thought about that in relation to your book?
Yeah, that's my understanding as well. It's public domain is what my understanding is, and which is great. You know, if my novel is successful and other people want to create variants, I welcome it. So it aligns with what I'm really doing, because it really is to complement the platform and the NFT collection. If someone's willing to write a story, go right ahead, and I'll help to empower that individual with that effort, and feel free to commercialize it as well. The graphics, I think, is another thing. So the graphics of those aren't AI generated. So I guess there's some, and I'm not a lawyer, there's some copyright protections with that, I'm assuming.
If you put an X on a piece of paper, it's copyrighted. You know, it has this intrinsic copyright the moment that you do it. So you could sell that piece of paper with the X on it. You could scan it, sell that too, and that would be yours. That's an implicit copyright. I know that you can do some official stuff too, like with trademarks and patents and stuff like that. But I know if a machine draws that X right now, they're like, no, you didn't do it. The real question is, which I've talked about on the show a few times, which is how much, if you collaborate with an AI, what's yours and what's not. Now, I think one view of it is, well, the original image is yours, but what the AI comes up with is not yours. Well, what if you go back and forth? And that's what I've done with my own bugs, is drawn a picture, had AI do something with it, and I'm like, oh, that's really cool. And then I'll redraw that. Well, so the original picture is mine. What I redraw is mine, but what it comes up with is technically not. But then again, if it looks a lot like mine, it's based on that. What's really the difference? I know that that's going to be working its way through courts in the next few years. I'm also writing a book myself for ZipBugs, And in my case, I've hired an illustrator to redraw everything that we need, and the story is mine as well. So I'm being safe with my book, but it's kind of a new world with new problems when AI starts doing some of the work with you. I've noticed.
Yeah, I agree. And I think a lot of the Adobe suite allows you to do AI generation with corrections of the photo. Oh, there's a person in the background. You highlight it and then you click the button and it disappears. Well, does that mean that picture is no longer copyrighted? It's completely
Well,
public domain all of a sudden?
that would mean my thought is if Photoshop using AI removed a character from there, that removal is not protected or something. I mean, or better yet, say you have the AI create something for you in the background. It's like somebody could probably grab that thing in the background and make something of that, and you couldn't do anything about it. That's off the top of my head. I think that's where it might be going. I don't know, because there's not a lot of court cases that talk about it. There's only one court case that I'm aware of where somebody used AI. They kept generating things over and over and over with AI until they got what they wanted, and then they tweaked it a little bit. And then the court found that, oh yeah, that's not yours. You just gamed the system. You could take a shotgun and blow up a watermelon and all pieces splatter everywhere. Is it you, or was it the shotgun that did that? So it's to me, it's the tool. If you're using the shotgun as an art tool, all of a sudden, somehow the fact that you didn't do it means that you didn't create it. Well, if you're choosing what the AI is making and you're constantly collaborating with it, you're guiding the whole thing. It's yours, but you're using a tool. Hopefully things go in a direction that allows people to use AI to generate all that stuff and make money from things too.
What comes to mind, I think there's this parable about if you have a ship, I don't even know what it's called, maybe Prometheus, I don't know. If you have a ship and you constantly, things wear out, yeah, you take out the rudder and you exchange it for another rudder, and you change the flooring, it was wood, you put metal in, and if you keep doing that until the original ship
It's
no longer
gone.
exists, I mean, do you still have the same ship? That's what came to mind. If you're changing some little things, it's not to that extreme, but I mean, where's the line, right? So I think you're exactly right. It's really legally gray.
I think we need to wrap this one up. I think I'm going to leave Mr. Zorro with the last words or the last questions. You two can determine who has the last word here.
My last thing on this I will say, be unique, be creative, empower community, and do something awesome. Always for your community. That's the only way that anything that you do in this life, anything that you do as far as your projects, it will be phenomenal. Always remember that. And people will be there always. And you're doing something awesome.
Thank you. I'll take that to heart. Appreciate it.